We're just gonna fix the gutters because we just are uncomfortable with having anybody come back who had worked on a roof to do anything. We're afraid they're gonna make things worse, so we're just gonna take care of it. Just a little handful of a whole lot more. We have a lot of errands to do. Sorry I haven't been around much. It's just so busy lately, and I'm sure it's all like that for you too around the holiday season. Appointments, appointments, appointments. We're gonna get an appointment in for Noah's Invisalign. Finally, he can get those in.
Jump up, give me more. Jump up, give me more. Jump up, jump up, jump up.
We'll have Noah's Invisalign in a couple of weeks. This place is awesome. Very, very nice people. Talk about running a business. They know how to do it. I'm in desperate need of my calendar, and this place is the only place that I could find that has a calendar that I like. I know a lot of you use your phone and computers. I like using the old-fashioned way, the calendar that shows the whole month on one page. So let's go in and see if they have it, and usually it's just $1, so we'll see. So this is what I was talking about, the monthly planner. I like it because, let me show you inside here, because it has the whole month in one page there. It's just easier. So, and it's real light. It fits in my purse. So whenever I have to make an appointment, it's just easy. Especially if I'm on the phone and they want to make an appointment with me and I have to put the phone down. I'm just not good at this technology and the smartphones. So this is just easier for me. $1, good deal. We just got home and Willow's going to be making dinner with Noah's assistants, but I think I should go in there and help them out. They always kick me out of the kitchen though, so maybe I won't be in there for too long. I wanted to say I'm sorry again. I haven't been able to keep up with the videos daily, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to every day this month like I would like. I will try, but with everything that's going on in my life, I was thinking we should talk about some life hacks about simplifying our lives a little bit. I've always tried to keep my life as simple as possible because I only have so much energy and I have to get things done. So I've always tried to do this, but I'm going to fine-tune my simplifying of my life a little bit more. So some of the things that I just started doing, I've done it before, but I'm in the process now, is unsubscribing from all these emails I get. It's just so stressful because we get too many emails. I don't have hours upon hours to go through hundreds of emails every day. So I'm just trying to get rid of these emails, and I don't know where they come from. I think I don't remember subscribing to them all. So I'll just have to see what it is and unsubscribe, and hopefully that will help me a little bit with just the things in my life, the noise. I call it noise because it's just so much going on. Same with phone calls. I have to turn my volume off because I get phone calls all day long. I don't know if that's something you guys do or what you think about that. I know some of you worry if you have kids that don't live at home and you're worrying, oh my gosh, they might be calling me. For me, it's just stressful, and I know if there's an emergency, whoever my loved one is would call 911 before they're going to call me because there's not much I can do from where I am. Of course, they'll get a hold of me, texting or leaving a message, but I can't answer phones all day long because it's just too much between the emails and then the phone calls, and lots of times, and most of the time, it's someone trying to sell me something. When you own a business, that's something you'll find out, is that they find your number and they just call over and over. Different people, you don't know who they are. And yes, I did sign up for the don't call, but you get calls and it's not going to stop. So I just turn that volume down. People really want to leave a message, they will leave a message if they're real people. So that's something else I do to simplify my life a little bit, is just turn the volume off. The other thing I have done, and I've done this all my life because of chronic illness, is I'm just not able to accept most invitations. And people who know me just know not to invite me, and I feel bad, but they understand. Because I just don't know how I will feel from day to day, from minute to minute. But I think this can apply to anybody. When you get invited to different parties, if you're a mom at a school, they might ask you to do a lot of different things, or if you're on a sports team, pretty soon you find yourself just stretched. You're involved in school and the sports, or if you're involved in taking care of an elderly person, and then you got your own family, and if you got kids, or even college kids, you're just stretched all over the place. So you have to figure out for you, because each of us have to do what it is that we have to do to make our lives more simple and less stressed. I'm a list maker, and I know some of you are as well, and that really helps me do what I can in a day, and I don't stress myself out. If I don't finish that list, it gets done the next day. So it all gets done. It's just when you have a zillion things to do, and I know all of you are in the same boat. If you're not, tell me what you're doing, because I'd like to know what you're doing not to have the stress, especially if you're a parent and have a family. What are you doing to reduce the noise in your life? And I tell you, I've talked about this over and over again, this decluttering, minimalizing is one of the best things to do, because it's just less things to clean, less stuff in the house, because that could take, when you got a lot of stuff, the little things like buttons and needles and paper clips and rubber bands, and then you've got this junk drawer or 2 or 3 junk drawers, and then it's overflowing onto your counter, and it just doesn't end. It's like, what do you do with this? You need to get rid of it because you don't need like a zillion paper clips and rubber bands and pens or pencils that you'll never use. I know that we don't like wasting or getting rid of things, but if you find yourself being overwhelmed by the noise in your life, you have to reduce it somehow, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm like being very proactive right now in reducing that noise, because it's becoming so overwhelming I can't even record. And so you're probably wondering, where the heck is Melody? It's just because I'm just being pulled in 20 different directions, and YouTube is a priority for me. Not only do I like it, but I feel like I need it. It's my way of being able to reach out to my friends, and it's something I want to continue doing as a hobby and maybe as a business, because it's just so much fun, and it's something that will help us to follow our dreams. And as you know, it's to travel the world, and working online is something that's what's going to make this happen. So before we head off on our journey, I just want to get our lives as simplified as possible, and that's why I only want to carry 1 carry-on bag each, because if we start taking luggage, that's stressful. If it gets lost, I don't want to worry about checked-in luggage and all that. I know I'm rambling on about another topic, but it's not really. It's all pretty much the same. Keeping things simple, no matter what it is that you do in your life. If you're a student, if you're a mom, if you're working, if you're retired, taking care of elderly, taking care of children, just have to figure out where can you simplify things. And I think that some of us, moms especially, feel like we need to take care of everyone. And I think it's time that you let other people take care of themselves. And I'm not talking about the elderly or the very little, but grown kids, in their 20s, they're not kids anymore. I think we need to let them become more independent, let them make some mistakes. And I've already told our kids, once you're 18, you're taking care of yourself. And doesn't mean I'm kicking them out of the house, but they're going to be paying their own bills and paying their own way. I think it's the best thing they can do to become independent. And I know I did it. I moved out at 18, and it was hard. It was, sometimes just very difficult. But that's what makes you strong, I think. And you figure ways out on how to do things. And I'm not saying they have to go get a job. Maybe they could do something online. They could blog. They could blog. They're a web designer. They could do things, on the side. They could tutor, things like that. They work around their own schedule, because sometimes getting a regular job is very difficult for young people if they're in college. So if they can make money, at home, teaching English as a second language, I see a lot of young people doing that. I think that's awesome. The other thing, too, that I need to do is, and I do it when I think about it, but I find myself going to the grocery store too many times. We like fresh, produce. That's not a big deal when I go to the produce down the street, but I find myself going to the regular grocery store more than once a week, and I'm going to try to really plan better for the whole week. Our menus, actually that's Willow's job, planning the menus, but I need to just make sure I get everything she needs for the whole week. So I'm only going to the grocery store once. Not only does it save you time, stress, but it saves you money, because the more you go, you're always picking up more stuff that you might not necessarily need. Not to mention, gas, wear and tear in your car, that kind of thing. So I'm going to work on that a little bit. Something else I would like to do, but Rick's not on board, but I think he will be soon, is I'd like to get rid of cable. As I mentioned before, it's a lot of money. We barely watch TV. We watch YouTube because we're working on YouTube. We watch a little TV at night, and then Rick falls asleep on the couch. So why do we have it? I'm not sure. Sure, there's some good programs, but it's nothing I can't get on Amazon Prime. That's what we're using now. I had Netflix before. I love Netflix too. There's other people use Hulu, but there's no reason to be paying an arm and a leg for cable anymore. I see more and more people cutting the cord. So if I can, convince Rick to do that, it's gone. The only thing I do need is the internet, because we work online and study online. But I would love to hear from you. Let us know what you do to simplify your life. What are your life hacks? I'll take any tips that you have, because I'm looking to streamline my life, keep it real simple. I can go on and on, because there's things like house insurance, car insurance, if you have credit cards. I don't have a mortgage, but people have mortgages. But there's so many, when you have bills, that's the other thing. That takes up all your time. I know you could set it on autopilot, but I don't like that for our utilities. We have just electric and water here. There's no gas, because it changes every month, and I like to know exactly what I'm paying, and then sometimes they overcharge and I have to call, and I don't want it set on autopilot. So, and then if you want to cancel when I say autopilot, the auto payments, it could take up to 6 weeks before it stops. So that's something I don't want to do. And I stay away from credit cards, because when you travel, you're going to have to use it sometimes, but I don't want to. It's not so much the credit card, because if you pay it off, you're fine, you earn points and all that. But the thing is, you have to remember to pay these different cards. So I prefer not to have bills and not pay the credit cards, and just pay cash or use the debit card. I don't know, people have different views on that, on how they like to do that, but whatever makes it more simple is what I want to do. And that's why I got the calendars today, because I like to be able to see a month at a glance and what my schedule is like. And I try not to do a whole lot in one day, because then it stresses me out, because usually something unexpected comes in and then I have to deal with that, and I've already got a full schedule. So I don't like to do that, and I like to just do a little bit each day and leave room for the unexpected, which will happen. There's a lot of videos, I'm sure, on this topic, and I think I'll watch some, because I would like to get more tips and ideas on this, because I know there's some people who go to the extreme and they've got some really great ideas. Not that I can do what they might be doing, but I'm going to take them up on all their ideas and somehow implement them in our lives. So that's all I have for today. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit and kind of let you know where I've been. I just, been busy with life, as we all are. Please forgive me for not being here every day. I'm going to keep trying to post daily, but if you don't see me, it's just because I'm just trying to catch up with things over here. I'm sure things will settle down once I streamline everything and make things a little more simple. Well, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, and we'll see you next time.